Imagine you're creating a dungeon. Exactly what the dungeon is doesn't really matter. It could be a ruined castle, a crystal cavern, an ancient mine, or a floating fortress abandoned by storm giants. The important bit is that this dungeon is filled with goblins. So that's the scenario here. A dungeon filled with goblins. And the goblins have been causing problems, killing farmers' cattle, raiding the local merchant caravans, or whatever. And the PCs need to track them back to their lair and make them stop causing problems. In the 50 years since Dave Arneson created Castle Blackmore and the modern role-playing game, variations of this basic scenario have been created tens of thousands, or more likely millions of times. Its pre-RPG antecedents can be traced back to stories like Tolkien's The Hobbit and George MacDonald's The Princess and the Goblin. And as scenarios go, it's just fine. I am not here to cast any shade on this venerable classic. But here's what I do recommend. Don't just fill that dungeon with goblins. Instead, pair the goblins with some other type of monster. Heck, you can literally just flip through the monster manual and grab one at random. You could go with goblins and ogres, or goblins and half-dragons, or goblins and displacer beasts, or goblins and owlbears. Now, just listening to me read through that list, I'm betting a bunch of ideas immediately started skittering across your imagination. You knew what a clan of goblins whose lives are intertwined with a pack of displacer beasts looked like, and it was completely different from the goblin tribe you imagined, whose bloodlines descended from Arok the Great Worm, for example. The juxtaposition forced an act of creative closure. Your brain basically had to explain why these two monsters had been placed next to each other. In the process, you created something unique and exciting. It was instinctual. And of course, there's no right answer. Are the goblins subservient to the ogres? Is there just one ogre who dominates all the goblins through fear? Or have goblin psychics enslaved the ogres? Are they at war, each trying to claim the dungeon from the other? Or are the ogres actually goblins who've been alchemically altered to become more powerful warriors? The spark of a single juxtaposition can ignite a limitless variety of ideas, and in that creative fission, you'll also likely find a wellspring of fresh and unique details that will make stocking your dungeon super easy. I call this technique the Goblin Ampersand, because it can trivially spice up even the most well-worn of fantasy tropes, like goblins in a dungeon. But it's universally applicable. Anytime you have a simple, straightforward adventure concept of X, where X might be a goblin dungeon, or a wizard's tower, a serial killer, or a vampire clan, see what happens if you arbitrarily pair it with a second element and force yourself to creatively close the gap. I say force, but it wasn't exactly a hardship, was it? In addition to supercharging your own creativity during prep, the Goblin Ampersand is also great in actual play, because the unique situations it creates will surprise the players and push them out of their comfort zone. It lends itself particularly well to the use of surprising scenario hooks. The PCs head to the lair expecting goblins, but they aren't expecting the displacer beasts or owlbears or whatever else you put on the other side of the ampersand. But regardless of when the PCs become aware of the full scope of the scenario, the ampersand keeps paying dividends. For example, the tactics required to fight goblins and displacer beasts are different than those required for fighting goblins and ogres or goblins and half-dragons, resulting in refreshing and interesting combat encounters. So, think about using the Goblin Ampersand in your next adventure. And while you're thinking about that, grab your claymore and cleave that subscribe button. While you're down there, hit the like button and leave a comment, too. I know it's a cliche, but we're a brand new channel here at the Alexandrian, and it makes a difference. More importantly, if you have a question about being a game master or running a role-playing game, I want to know. This video came from one of your questions, and I'd love to do more like it. Don't forget to drop by the Font of All Knowledge, too. I'll be leaving some useful links down there about surprising scenario hooks. There'll also be a link to my Patreon, where you can support new videos directly. Good gaming. This is Justin Alexander, and I hope to see you at the table.